This is the Hypothetically Sound podcast,
hosted by Alec, Randy, and Xavier,
where we take a hypothetical look at the world around us,
exploring the what-ifs, maybes, and how comes.
Join in on the unfiltered, raw, and real conversations
as we explore the world around us. Welcome back to Hypothetically Sound. We hope you are having a great day. As always, I am one of your hosts, Randy, joined by the other Alec.
Hi.
And we are here today to continue our journey on Apple Music's top 100 albums of all time. And today, we are on album number 70, Straight Outta Compton by N.W.A. And obviously, Alec, everybody listening knows who we already know N.W.A. is, but why don't you tell the people what you know about N.W.A.
Man, legendary hip-hop group, West Coast. They're pioneers in hip-hop in general, pushing it forward, gangster rap, even just like G-Funk, all that kind of stuff. You know, it's Dre's start, or at least like his stardom, Ice Cube, Eazy-E, Ren, all them, so.
Yeah. Now, for the people at home whose only recollection of N.W.A. is from the movie Straight Outta Compton, I'll give you the non-Hollywood version of what the group is.
I mean, to be fair, Straight Outta Compton's a pretty solid.
Oh, it's a fantastic movie.
Starting point.
Definitely Hollywood up, but you know, it's Hollywood. But Straight Outta Compton is the debut album of American gangster rap group N.W.A. N.W.A., while being called gangster rap, hardcore rap, G-Funk, all of that, will tell you that their style rap is more reality rap, is what they called it in the late 90s or early 90s when everybody was throwing gangster rap at them. They just said this reality rap. They talked about where they came from, what they lived, and it just happened that people found it as gangster rap. The album was released in 1988 under Ruthless Records, which was owned by Eazy-E, who wasn't Eazy-E at the time. Eazy-E did not become Eazy-E until he had signed Ice Cube to his record label as a ghostwriter, and he wrote the song Boys in the Hood. And they brought in a group to do it from New York. The group couldn't do it, so Eazy-E said, fuck it, I'm going to become Eazy-E and do the song. And you've seen in the movie, that is pretty straight much what happened. N.W.A. didn't have like a huge global success or anything like you expect from huge groups. They reached number 9 on the Billboard's top R&B and hip-hop albums. They only reached 37 on Billboard's top 200. But they were the first gangster rap group to go platinum. And yeah, the rest is history. The group, as Alex said, includes Dr. Dre, who at the time had a little local success, but nothing much. He was struggling to get the royalties from the stuff that he had already put out. And Eazy-E recruited him into N.W.A. Then you got DJ Yella, you got Arabian Prince, who was working with Dr. Dre at the time. So they came across. And then, as I said, he signed Ice Cube as a ghostwriter, who became a huge member, MC Ren. And then a non-official member of the DOC. Like Alex said, this group is iconic in the hip-hop game. It's really just in general in the black culture, in hip-hop culture. You can't talk about it without N.W.A. coming up. Forget anything sound not right?
No, well, that sounds pretty good.
Sounds good to me. So let's get into it. It is a 13-track album, and this is Straight Outta Compton, and we start with track number 1, Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah,
written by Ice Cube, MC Ren, and the DOC. I'm gonna do that for every song because Ice Cube and MC Ren and DOC wrote most of it, but some songs are written by just one or the other. So what did you think of Straight Outta Compton, the namesake song?
I mean, it's literally the song that put Compton and the West Coast on the map, right? Yeah. It's just a revolutionary song in general. It has that classic, like, simplistic rhyme scheme and flow, minus like Eazy-E, who kind of has a slightly more simplistic-ish But the beat's still insane, and it adds so well to the hyper aggressiveness that they're just known for.
Hmm. And like going back to the simplistic rhyme scheme and rapping style, I think it makes them accessible to a lot of people.
Mhm.
Uh, and you're like, oh, like you look back at its gangster raps, all this, but yeah, the rhyme scheme, how they flowed. This is what was great about uh funk pop and things like that is the storytelling, uh rhyme scheme and the nursery rhyme scheme made it very accessible to people,
Mhm.
uh be it one matter their education level or how they spoke outside of the music. They were able to understand and get into it and recite it and remember it. And so that's why uh, funk hop was so popular, and then you got go into G funk and gangster rap, and the blending of all the styles is fantastic, especially in this song. Like you said, it's a classic hip hop song. It's a great intro to the album, great intro to the group. Um, it's just good scratches too by Dre.
Yeah.
It's just top tier rap. I gave it 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave it a 9 out of 10. I mean, this is their We Them introduction and like staple. So
Hmm.
I think it's good. 9 out of 10 for sure, easy.
Yeah, yeah,
But with that being said, it moves to another classic piece of theirs, Fuck the Police.
yeah. It's their probably their most known song just because of all of the drama and things that went around it with the police and the FBI and things like that.
Hmm.
This is also written by Ice Cube, MC Ren, and the DOC, performed by Ice Cube, MC Ren, and Eazy-E. Ice Cube is just good. Like Ice Cube was a star from the
Yeah.
beginning. His flow and his sound is just amazing.
Hmm. But when it started, did you think it was a bit like funkier than
You remember?
remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It makes me wonder if like I didn't check, but if the remastered versions are more hardcore, if it
Hmm.
changes some, because I even put that in my notes. I'm like, for such an aggressive song, the instrumental is so chill. Like it's crazy how like fuck the police, and it's just a chill instrumental underneath that you wouldn't get nowadays.
Yeah, yeah. It was really weird. I mean, it works though. Like Dre makes it work really well.
Yeah, and Ren does his thing. Ren, such an
Oh yeah.
underappreciated member of N.W.A. He is probably two on the rapping list for me on N.W.A. just because I love Cube's sound and his swag on the mic. Is the only thing that puts him above Ren for me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's super fair. I agree. Super underrated.
Easy E. He got successful because he has like his voice is unique. He does have a swag, even if he's not the greatest flow
Hmm.
in the rap game.
Yeah, that is another like big thing for him too. Is he definitely like is just unique flow, and he goes well enough, especially at that time.
Hmm.
He hits it well enough and just sounds good on the mic
Yeah.
that I feel like he got a lot of hype just because of his uniqueness.
Hmm. And it's crazy. Like, just I'm looking at the like track list
Hmm.
and the samples they have. 7 samples in this song. They got James Brown, Roy Ayers, Easy E's own song
Hmm.
is sampled in it. So it's crazy, and it goes for every song. They have like 6 to 7 samples per song. It's crazy
Yeah,
how fluent, yeah, how fluid everything goes together, how fluid it is. But I
yeah.
did give "Fuck the Police" a 9 out of 10.
I gave it an 8.5 out of 10.
Fair, fair.
We switched there. We
Yeah,
switched
yeah.
there.
it's
I
like it's an
mean,
iconic song, and like it is really good. So
yeah. Which again moves us to Gangsta, the third track.
yeah,
It-
this is a solo Cube track.
yeah, and once again, you're just reminded how funky this goddamn album is, bro.
Hmm. I mean, Eazy-E's on the track, but it's written by Cube.
Yeah, I mean, Most of it's written by Cube, to be fair.
I don't think. Yeah, I think there's only like songs that are only MC Ren are only MC Ren. Otherwise, everything else is Ice Cube.
Yeah, he at least has a part in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same with Ren. Ren has a part in all the writing as well in DLC. But yeah, man, it's kind of a huge contrast between the beat selection to the subject matter and rap aggression. But this song is like a clear indication that like Ice Cube was a blueprint for early gangster rap.
Yeah.
And he essentially like created it. Like he flows so good on this and just has an insane amount of aggression that never dies down, like at all. Like I always thought it was weird growing up seeing Ice Cube in like family roles, but he plays like the tough guy.
Yeah.
But like part of me just feel like that might just be Ice Cube's energy at all times. Is just an angry motherfucker. Like coming back to listening to this just reminds you that like, yeah, he probably was just angry all the fucking time. Just an aggressive individual. And then, you know, towards the end of the song, the beat switch comes in and Eazy-E shows up and, you know, he does very well.
Yeah.
He does Eazy-E things.
Yeah, the song's just a vibe in general. And one thing that they do on this album that I wish more people did that they did in the late 80s, 90s, Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff do this really well, is the scratches on the lines. Dr. Dre scratches the sound in the album or in the song, and to go with his lines, to give his lines more oomph. And like Will Smith and Jazz do the same thing. A bunch of artists did the same thing. And it just, I love that part of late 80s, early 90s hip hop that's just gone. And I wish it would come back.
That's fair. It definitely adds to it. I feel like you need a certain type of sound for that, but definitely when used correctly, it does add to the things. Yeah. I ended up giving Gangsta an 8 out of 10.
I gave it 8.5 out of 10. So pretty close.
Yeah.
And then that moves us to track 4, If It Ain't Rough, which is a MC Ren written and performed song. And he kills it. Funky beats. If you turn on this album and you're expecting what you hear nowadays from hip-hop beats, that's not what you're getting from these albums. You are getting more of an R&B funk beat than you would get a hip-hop beat in even the late 90s. And this one has a really good funky R&B beat.
Yeah, I was gonna say it has a very 70s feel, and this came out in like 88. And this has a very 70s like beat to it.
Yeah.
But this one doesn't feel that dated. Even with that, like, it feels older. Most of these songs obviously feel older. But even with the 70s beat, this one doesn't feel that much more dated than the rest of the songs so far. But yeah, MC Ren fucking kills it, man. Like this is probably like one of my favorite on the album.
So good.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I ended up giving it an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Hell yeah.
Which moves us to track number 5, Parental Discretion is Advised, which is made by everybody. Everybody in the group is on this one, including the DLC.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just all sliding, dude. They're all sliding on the beat. And it has like this nice like G-funk sound to it. It's the first track that Dre hops on, and he also just fucking slides. Like he's showing that he's more than just the producer.
Yeah.
Which honestly, like, he didn't need to do. But like I'm glad he does, because again, he slides on it himself. Like he knows how to rap on his own beats. Hence why the Chronic is
And the piano outro on this song, so good. Just him showing off his skills again for no reason. Just I'm just gonna do it because I can. I would say, compared to the first 4 songs, I don't think it's as good as the first 4 songs. But like it's good. Like you said, it's a good funky beat, decent lyrics. Everybody does their job and does it well. The outro is dope, but it's just not as good as what came before, unfortunately. But I gave it a 7.5 out of 10, so it's not too far off.
Yeah. I ended up giving it an 8 out of 10.
Fair.
Which moves us on to 8 Ball. How
Yeah.
did you feel about this one?
Storytelling rap will always be my favorite type of rap. Hands down. I don't care when it is, where it's at. I love storytelling rap, and when you do it good, it works. And they did it good in this song. And it's Eazy-E just doing what Cube told him to do, telling the story. And I love especially storytelling rap where it's just one single day. Uh like one of my favorite Snoop Dogg songs is called Vato. And it's just about him meeting a Vato and killing them. Uh which sounds super aggressive, and it's an aggressive song, but I love storytelling rap. And so this song was a hit for me.
Okay. That's super fair.
What did you think?
I think like you're correct. I think it was good. Easy did well and all that. I mentioned before, if it ain't rough, like it had that like 70s feel, but it wasn't that dated.
Yeah.
This one felt so dated to me,
Oh yeah.
sound wise, that like I personally don't like
That's
80s rap
hmm
very much, or like rap before the 80s, or anything before like the 90s. I'm just not a big fan of.
Yeah, and that's fair.
And that's just my personal like hip hop preference.
hmm
And I understand why this is good, and I see it, and it's not bad. Like it sounds like I'm like gonna rate this a fucking 3. It's not bad at all. Like it's still a solid 7 out of 10 for me.
hmm
It just really hits you that this came out in the like this was probably started being produced and stuff in like 86.
Yeah, yeah. And
You know?
don't get me wrong, like it is nostalgia. This album came out when I was born. Super old. It's super old. Uh, and so like this type of hip hop is still some of the hip hop I listened to when I was like 7, 8, 9, 10.
Mhm.
And so that's why I think I love that style more than you would, because you got the 2000s plus hip hop. You got the what I would classify as the prime hip hop. Uh, and so like I understand, and it's drastically different from the early hip hop. But I really like the song. I give it 8 out of 10. It's not as good as some of the other songs that I've heard, but no, it's good. I like it. Which moves us to track 7, Something Like That, which is written by MC Ren and then performed by Dre and Ren.
Yeah. This honestly sounds like something you hear in like NBA Street
Yeah.
when you're playing it,
hmm
which is insane because again, it just keeps that dated feel. This
Yeah,
song is
especially
insane.
with the dual verse.
Yeah.
It's like, and I wrote a note. It's not something you will hear today. People don't do that anymore. It is definitely
I
70s, 80s hip hop.
I will say that I fucked with it more than 8 Ball, and I
Mhm.
really did like the layering of the verses where they
Yeah.
doubled up. I thought that was pretty sick because again, you just don't hear that as often.
hmm
But it was sick. It sounded good. It was produced in a way that it made it sound like they were both standing next to each other going.
Yeah, and I think that's what it was. It sounded like they were having fun in the booth.
Mm.
Like the closest I could reiterate it to something now that someone will hear would be Drake and J. Cole. I can't fucking remember the name of the song.
First person shooter?
Yeah, first person shooter. Like that's the closest that I could think of right now.
Interesting.
But like that's the closest we get in hip hop, is the two people on the same track, where they maybe like commingle in the choruses. But the fact that they commingle in the verse, like the verse is them two rapping right next to each other on top of each other. So like you said, it's unique.
Hmm.
And I liked it. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I ended up giving it a 7.5 out of 10. Slightly better than 8 Ball.
hmm
Which moves us to a very notorious song in the N.W.A catalog, "Express Yourself."
Yep. Written
Uh,
by Cube and then done by Dre.
yeah, which is insane that Ice Cube wrote this and then Dr. Dre came through and did it. This is
hmm
like controversial because it's a clean song.
Yeah.
Um, and
Speaking
on,
of that, sorry to cut you off. Um, you know what I found? Like it's my notes are in the next song mostly. But because you brought that up, the use of nigga is so limited in this album. Like they don't use it to define someone else. I'm pretty sure the only time they use the word is when they're talking about themselves. Otherwise, it's suckers, whackers, whack, things like that to describe other people. Like they cuss and everything, but they don't use the N word to define anybody else.
Yeah, I kind of. Some songs they go really hard. I think it's like 50-50. Like don't get me wrong, there's parts of the album where they definitely refrain from using it,
Mhm.
but there's other parts where it is used very liberally. But yeah, Dre's also was criticized about the song because in it, he rapped the lines that he doesn't do weed or smoke sesh because it fucks with your head space, essentially.
Mhm.
Just to go on and release the Chronic years later.
Yeah.
However, it's still a super solid song. Dre goes off on it. The sample usage and flip of the beat is just insane,
Yeah.
as always. And then Dre's just solid, just knows how to go on his own song.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. It's done well. It's funky. Dre flows on it. The sample of "Express Yourself" by Charles Wright and the Watts. Uh, it's fantastic. I give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I ended up giving it a 8 out of 10.
It's fair.
Yeah, which puts us to Compton's in the house.
Yeah. MC Ren written, and then MC Ren and Dre performed.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it's kinda another super dated sound.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I said. I was like, what's interesting about this album is they have some very progressive hip hop songs for '88, and then there's songs like this where it is 100% old school hip hop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is one of the songs where I said if you played this for the first time to a 16-year-old, uh, they would probably find it corny. Uh, for because like they drop like they say fucking motherfucker, but then they call people whackety whack in the same like line. And so I can see people who haven't heard it don't understand like the culture of times in '88 finding it like corny. So it's definitely dated in language.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it almost sounds amateurish in my opinion
Hmm.
as well. Like it does just sound like a couple dudes sitting at the corner rapping to some random beat their homie brought right on a CD.
And that's the downside to Ren for me is the songs that I found a little corny or a little dated were more often written by Ren. And I think that's the only reason why he didn't make it big solo is because of that limitation in his writing. While he's good, he's a great MC. I do find his writing skills to lack some.
Fair. I ended up actually giving this a 6 out of 10. Like I didn't think it was bad, but it just
Mhm.
was again,
It got a
it was too
low
dated.
7 for me. Like
Yeah, it was just too dated.
I didn't want to give it anything lower than a 7 because I don't think it like deserves lower than a 7, but it's the very minimum 7 I could give it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which moves us to track 10. One of my favorite songs, "I Ain't the One."
Interesting. I really like the beat to it, that's for sure.
Hmm.
And like it's a funny song.
Hmm.
It's literally about him not letting women use him.
Yeah.
And it has funny lines. It's great written. Some of Ice Cube's delivery for me was a little awkward, and
Hmm.
that kind of notched it down a little bit for me. But otherwise, like, yeah, I think it's a good song.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a song about not being used by women. Uh, when people talk about hip hop being misogynistic, this is a song that you could point to. Blah blah blah. But one line that I do find funny, and it's a line that people fight about, is early in the song he goes, "I ain't the one to get played like a poo butt." Now, people argue that he doesn't say poo butt. Every lyric site, Spotify, Genius, everything puts poo butt. But people argue that he says pool butt as in a billiard stick, and meaning he's not going to be played. So I just found that funny because it is hard to tell what he says there. It can be either or. It's kind of like the Yanny thing that was popular a couple years ago. But honestly, this is my take on N.W.A. There is no N.W.A. without Ice Cube. Like Dre, obviously, I think there's no N.W.A. without Dr. Dre making the beats and producing. But I think more so there is no N.W.A. without Cube. I think he is the backbone of the group. And I really enjoy this song. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I ended up giving this a 7 out of 10 just because, like I said, it was a little awkward at points. But yeah, I thought it was a good song. I thought it was funny. I didn't take it as like a serious. For the most part, he probably was serious about it at the time, but I didn't take it as like a serious song. Some of those lines kind of insane. It's kind of like you mentioned the poo butt, you know?
Yeah.
And only he will know. Only he will like truly know what it is. Him and everyone else. But
for right now, in today's day and age, he can go get fucked. But that's a different point.
Crazy. All right. Let's cancel a man for a 35-year-old song.
No, not has anything to do with the song. It's him just being a fucking sellout.
Angry boy. Yes. Angry man.
People who know.
Yeah, but then we move on to Dope Man. And Ice Cube crushes this verse of his.
Yeah, the intro verse is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, he just goes off. It's kind of insane. It's probably like some of the best written, like in rapping Ice Cube I've seen. I haven't seen a lot to be fair, but
yeah, this is Ice Cube Right and Crazy D.
Yeah,
who's also on the song.
Yeah, it's insane how far he just pops off. It's very insane.
The chorus is fantastic. I love the chorus. It's a very catchy, memorable chorus as well. I did think his second verse didn't hit as hard as his first verse.
You know what? I'll be honest. I thought that was okay. Like his first verse was just so good. His second verse kind of eased it in. And I think it needed to ease in because if it didn't, like this is easily also my favorite Eazy-E verse on the album.
I put that note as well.
But if his first verse and second verse were equally as good, Eazy-E would have been like hard outshined. And I honestly have to think it's like a conscious decision. Yeah. Because there's no way you eat that fire on a verse and then you're like, let me tone it down. It's still a good verse. The second verse is still really good. I'm just saying, I just don't see it. So
the ending's funny to the song as well.
Yeah, 100%. They do really great things.
What'd you give it?
I ended up giving Dope Man an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave it a 9 out of 10, so pretty close. I enjoy the song a lot. It's always a listen whenever it comes on the radio for me. Which moves us to the pre-ultimate song, Quiet on the Set.
Yeah.
Which was written and performed
Penultimate, by the way.
Penultimate. I always messed it up. Penultimate.
You do, but it's okay.
Written and performed by MC Ren.
Yeah. It's the second solo track.
Yeah.
And like this one for sure solidified for me that Ren was underrated at the time. With just his pen and hitting a track, like he goes hard. The beat is a bit more punchy and is more dynamic than like the rest of the songs on this album.
Yeah.
And I think like it benefited him super, super hard. He just rides, dude.
Yeah, like you said, it's good track, catchy, good beat. Ren shines. Like we said earlier, even though he's outshadowed by Dre, Eazy, and Cube, he is one of the unsung heroes of the album. Dude clearly putting in a lot of work, and he got his. Like, it's cool that they gave him his own tracks. Like, he got as many own solo tracks as Cube got.
Mhm.
And so that's really cool that he got his fair share and his chance to shine just like everybody else.
Yep, 100%.
I gave the track a 7 out of 10.
I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. It was up there for me.
No, that's fair.
Which leads us to the final song, which is something to dance to.
Which I'm pretty sure is a direct song because people, their first hit, Boys in the Hood, uh, got a lot of flack because the beat was too slow and people couldn't dance to it.
This was actually for a radio hit, or for the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's
Which
what
makes
this is
sense,
for.
yeah.
Yeah. Didn't like this.
This track is what Mark Wahlberg listened to before making his track. Like, you even listen to it, you hear some of Mark Wahlberg's song. Like, you can hear he took stuff from this song.
Yeah, I thought this was just kind of ass.
Yeah, it is different. It's not very gangster rap. It doesn't fit the album.
Bro, they don't take it seriously.
Yeah, it's just Dre messing around, like what you see him doing in the movie, where he just like puts together when he's in his room putting a set together to go play. I bet that's what it was. It was Dre put a set together real fast, and they're like, "Yeah, I think people on the radio like this."
Yeah, I don't know. I just know it didn't fit. It was an awful ending to the album, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't fit at all. It's just, yeah, it's production solid. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, only thing that saves this track is Dre's beat making.
And like the outro production is insane. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm not sitting through the rest of the song for that. I gave this a solid 4 out of 10.
I gave it a 7. Like I said, Dre saves it. I enjoy Dre's mixing on it.
Could not deal with the rest of the sound for that beat, in my opinion. But
That's fair.
right.
No, that's 100% fair. This is the only Arabian Prince written and produced song on the track or the album as well. So take that as you may.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, not a fan. If it ever came out, I would skip it. Like, the production's not worth
100%.
the wait.
Oh, I totally skip it 100%.
But yeah, that was Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a classic album. Storytelling rap, gangster rap, G-Funk, the whole nine. It's worth a listen, especially if you enjoy hip hop and you haven't, go listen to it. The median score for this, or the mean score for this, was 7.85 out of 10.
Mine was a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. You had that 4, and you had a 6. I never drop below 7.
But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I recommend it if you want to just listen to the evolution of rap, I guess. Like, see where a lot of it started from, you know?
Mm-hmm. And with all that being said, Alec, it is time to give the people what they love, and that is the shout out.
Yeah, man. Shout out to anyone who thinks they said Pooba and not Pool. But because Devin said Poo.
Devin said Poo.
Like, he's very articulate and like everything. You can't tell one word, man. Be a real weird word to mess up.
Like, I don't know what a poo butt is, but
he is very, very, very like purposeful on his words as well. And he has in this album, he does mess up some words on purpose to get the rhyme.
Yeah,
but he didn't need to do that for Poo Butt.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
Like, I'm pretty sure. I'm not pretty sure at all what it means. I'm assuming it's something like referring to being gay or something, or maybe someone who takes it up the butt. That would be my only guess on what he could possibly mean. Like, he's not some gay dude or something, like some bitch or something like that. That would be my only.
I'm assuming it is some West Coast slang that people didn't know because it was West Coast slang at the time.
True.
So,
Yeah, it's a good album. I enjoyed it. We got one more album coming out Friday this week, September, was it 20th? It will be Master of Puppets by Metallica, an 8-track album. So I'm excited for that. I enjoy me some Metallica. And then we start over. We go into 68, 67, 66 next week. And yeah, as always, wait, I have my own shout out to give. No, shout out to you, Alec.
okay.
If you guys don't know, Alec is an artist, and
I
Alec just filled our sticker store with a bunch of new designs, and they are amazing. Some are holographic, zodiac signs, fruits. They're just great. Beams, cryptid characters. It's fantastic. Go check it out at freealloc.store. Yeah, good job, Alec, man. For real, it is great work.
Thank you for the help of everything as well.
Yeah. You guys know where to find us. We're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Stimulus, we're on every site that you could possibly be on under Hypothetically Sound. We appreciate you guys listening to us as always. Make sure to like, share, comment, and everything that requires social media nowadays. And until next time, have a great day.
Have a great day.
Deuces.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Hypothetically Sound. We hope you enjoyed the episode. All episodes can be found at hypotheticallysound.podbean.com, as well as on Apple, Spotify, and Pandora. For full unedited video versions of the podcast, please visit us at youtube.com/hypotheticallysound.